Hey, it's your girl Paula Marie, aka the EbonyBizDiva. Listen, in the true spirit of Men's Month, which is the entire month of June, and we got Father's Day about to pop off in a couple of days. I wanted to make sure that I was being intentional as just a daughter and making sure that I am sharing all of the gifts that I've been given in the form of my daddy. Like, daddies know all the best. Those are like the first men that we as daughters fall in love with, right? And so I know that there's something deep inside of all of us entrepreneurs that our daddies live on through. The lessons that they taught us, the things that they showed us, and how they moved in the world gave us the strength, the integrity, the mustard to be able to walk this world of being an entrepreneur, which is so super difficult. And it's not for the faint at heart, but because daddies always know best and they give us these little tidbit tips and tools, I wanted to share these with you. And I got my friend with me. I got my North Carolina sis, my HBCU sis with me, Dr. Stevii Mills. Hey, sis.
Hey, my sister. How are you?
How are you doing, Queen? I am loving this short, natural hair, baby.
Thank you. I have to change it up.
Change it up on them, but it's still the same. Dr. Stevii Mills, she gonna give it to you every time. Can you please introduce yourself to the world? Tell them what your superpowers are.
Awesome. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Stevii, and I use my knowledge and expertise to help my clients use their knowledge and expertise to make money online. And I'm super excited to be here today. Thank you so much.
Yay.
I'm GaVonne, your systems strategist and productivity expert. So I'm the founder of Spark University, and I help women basically bring their business ideas to life, achieve their personal goals, and live a life that they love. That's what I do.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jalynn Jones, Vision to Profit business coach and the founder of Black Pretty and Paid University. My superpower in the world is breathing life into Black-owned businesses and the founders of Black-owned businesses, helping us sustain with sales and business mastery so that our businesses do not die with us. So that's what I specialize in, and I'm super excited to be here with Paula today.
I am Demishia Samuels, the corporate hustler, and I help women monetize their skill sets inside and outside of corporate America so that they can thrive in any economic environment. This brain right here is a strategist, and I love taking your ideas and bringing them to life.
Hey, I am Kayshaun. I'm a holistic pain and trauma warrior, owner of Renew You Body Butters, a luxury skincare and holistic company. We provide skincare products for those with sensitive skin issues such as eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, hyperpigmentation, all things of that nature. And I intentionally partner with affiliates and celebrity brand ambassadors who's all about bringing more brand awareness to the brand of using our products and services. And I help established entrepreneurs start, grow, and scale their own affiliate programs. So I'm excited to be here.
Hey, beautiful people. My name is Dr. Sade Wayadu, and I'm a digital brand strategist, and I work with women entrepreneurs to help them teach what they know and get paid well for it. So if you are someone who's an expert and you want to turn your expertise into an online course or coaching program, then I am the person you probably need to chat with. So that's what I do on the internet streets.
See why she my coach, y'all? I love her. Now, can you give us a quick little tidbit about your dad? Like, let us know some inside scoop about who your daddy was in the world.
So my father's name is Kwadwo Adu, and he was born in Ghana, West Africa. And he came to this country, I guess, 40-something years ago at this point. And he definitely was a hard worker. So
first of all, I want to shout out all the stepdads out there because I grew up with my stepfather from age like 2 and up. So it's my father.
I know I'm from the generation where parents say, I'm not your friend, I'm your parent. But my dad is my friend.
You know, my father has a very sketchy background. He used to be a drug addict, but he was one of those ones who he got clean and he became a serial entrepreneur as he worked his job and eventually retired. But to watch someone who had that difficult beginning in their life and turn their life around and get the massive amount of wealth that he has, he was a warrior to achieve all of that.
Thank you. I wore us today. I love this picture of me and Daddy. And he was, because my father passed away in February, but he was amazing. He was definitely someone who was a musician, self-taught himself 8 instruments, just creative, funny, fun, family-oriented, all kinds of words. Listen, just somebody who you could be honest with, because he was going to be honest with you, very raw. You knew what he was thinking. And so very smart, intelligent. It's a whole lot of adjectives that I can use to describe him.
So what are the best pieces of your dad that you have as an entrepreneur? Like, what is it that when you're moving and grooving with your clients and creating all of this phenomenal like content, like how does your dad live through that?
I would definitely say that our backstory is actually very similar now that I'm thinking about it. He was in his job working, and even though he's more of a skilled worker, he realized I can make more money outside of like the housing authority that he worked for if I just work for myself. Me being in corporate, I realized that this brain could make more money outside of corporate America as well. So just that ability to recognize and see an opportunity.
My family's loud. They say I'm loud. I got a big head. He got a big head. It's his fault. I would say, personality is definitely something that my father has. He actually named me Sade, and it's an African name that means the one who wears the crown on her head. And he gave me basically my full name, which means I was born on Thursday. And it's the name of my father's village, my middle name, and also like a great aunt's or a great grandmother's name. So my entire name is essentially African, and it was basically from my father. And it's so funny, the one who wears the crown on her head, and what that responsibility was bestowed upon me even as an infant, and what that looks like today is so interesting. So I would say definitely personality. He likes to be the life of the party. He thinks it's all about him. So I think some of those characteristics, good or bad, have definitely been bestowed upon me. He's definitely someone in his community who is respected and revered, and people pay attention to what my father says and how he moves. And I think some of those traits have definitely been bestowed upon me. My father loves school. He never finished all of his schools, but he definitely loved school. So that was definitely a reoccurring theme. Work hard and go to school, work hard and go to school. He wanted me to probably be a medical doctor, but he's going to have to settle for this PhD.
You know what? I have the characteristics of, it does not matter what you are going through, you're going to make a way and find a way. Like my dad, he is wealthy. And like I say, he's wealthy. We not wealthy. He is wealthy. And my dad is the type that if I went out and transformed my life, you can go out and transform your life. There is no excuses. I remember there was a time where I was working, 3-4 jobs, and I would like go to him and be like, Dad, I'm tired, I have all of these illnesses, I'm raising these kids. But he didn't care, and I wanted him to be, oh, okay, daughter, let me help you out. Let me do this to ease the pressure off of you. He did not do that at all. He was like, so what? I did it, so you can do it. And so that I used to be mad at that, but now that I've grown and gotten older and went through that stage, it helped me get through all the excuses. I built my business damn near bedridden. you know, and I was able to do that because I had all of those experiences. And it does not matter what you are going through. If you want to achieve something, if you want to get to a certain goal, you're not going to let anything stop you. You are going to find a way no matter what.
You know, some of the characteristics that I have from him, like I said, are the work ethic piece. I think the other piece I have from him, and this is just in all transparency, I think like my father is like a nomad. Like he can be anywhere, right? And he often like just would veer off, you know, not just from me. And that's again, like I said, when you get older and you start realizing things from a greater standpoint, it's, you know, Black fathers get a bad rap for not being in their child's life, but I really don't feel like my father meant to not be a responsible father with presence. I feel like he has a nomad spirit and he veers off. He goes on personal journeys. I think he has a certain level of self-awareness, and I have that as well. You know, that self-awareness is key. And I do believe that in his lifetime, he has gotten better about being present. There's 2 children that are younger than me that he actually has. And one of them looks just like me and the other one looks just like me. And what I'll say is, you know, sometimes you can't go back in life, but you can go forward. And I do feel like with the 2 youngest siblings that I have, he's taken a very active role in their lives. And even he has that nomad spirit and he can kind of make home wherever he goes. The same way I am. He's decided to kind of anchor instability for the people that he loves around him. And that's very similar to me. I'm 29. I've lived in several different states. I went to high school in one state and was raised here, was born here, spent my summers here, went to college here, voyaged back here, then traveled back across the world to really pursue entrepreneurship, the nation. And I just feel like I have that ability to do that. But at some point in my career and in my life, I had to decide on stability. You know, so sometimes not only do we carry those traits that are good about our parents, but we get those other things about our parents that we could say, you know, that's probably not always the best trait for the stability of everything. But I can lean into it and understand that there was a time for me to voyage. And there's also a time for me to be stable. From my stepfather, what I feel like I get is that assertiveness. I get that assertiveness about who I am and what my value is. And that's something that my stepfather did not wave on. He did not wave on at all. And that's kind of why I didn't like him. You know, the honest truth is a lot of times we don't like people when they're a mirror to us. It's like, who do you think you are? But he was very, very assertive. And he was elaborative with the way he spoke. And every time he spoke, you got a history lesson. And I definitely like to think of the way I operate in my business as a business coach is very similar to that. Very, very, very similar to that.
My dad always said what he was going to do and did what he said. Yeah. That was it. You know, so, you know, do what you say and say what you do. That was my dad. And that's what I learned. I learned about humor from my dad. Because I can be pretty uptight. My Capricornism will not let me be great sometimes. Sometimes if things don't go right, I'm like this, right? And then I remember the pieces of my dad. My dad was always smiling, always laughing. He just wanted everyone to have a great time in the room. I remember when he passed away, my cousin posted on a comment on Facebook and said that my dad was the type of guy that when he walked in the room, you knew it was about to be a good time. That's just he wanted everybody to feel great about themselves, and he would never let anybody not feel great about themselves. So I think that's why as a coach, I feel like I shine, because I want my clients to feel good about themselves in whatever space they're in. Whether you're just a beginner, whether you're shifting and changing, whether you did something and it didn't flush out the way you wanted it to, I want my clients to excel and feel good about the journey that they're going on.
would say definitely loving, very family oriented, even if it's the family I made, the people I put together in my life. Definitely creative. I'm not musically inclined by any means, but definitely love to have fun, love to laugh. Very raw too as well. Those are the parts that I see in myself that he left here.
Well, I always ask my dad, I'd be like, Daddy, how was your day today? He'd be like, it was a good day. You know, every day is a good day. And I learned that I learned that when you're doing something that you love and that you are actually finding fulfillment in and purpose in, it's not work. You actually get pleasure from whatever it is that you're doing. So I learned to connect with whatever my core values are and to put those things first. And if I can do that, then I'm moving in a direction that is designed for me, and then I can enjoy what I'm doing. So that's kind of like what I do with my business also. I try to make sure that I am doing only the things I'm passionate about. And sometimes, people tell me, hey, you should try this. Yeah, but I'm not really feeling that. Is it true to what it is that I'm focused on at that time? And then I also learned from him to sometimes you got to kick open your own doors of opportunity. So when people tell you that you're not good enough, or you're not worthy, or you're not qualified, or you can't do this, I learned that from his example, anything is possible. If you desire it, you want it, go get it.
I love it. I just want to say, like, when you were talking about like going through and still pushing through, it made me think about my granddad. Like my granddad, on my mom's side was a sharecropper. And so I grew up with him being a sharecropper, getting up and working super hard, but also having like this hustle and this drive. Like, he ran White Lightning moonshine. Okay, so everybody was coming to him for that. And he was a barber, so he was cutting hair too. You know what I'm saying? And then, he grew like, had like a small farm. And so like he had like he would cut up his produce and his meats and slaughtered hogs. And like, I'm a country girl from North Carolina. But looking at my grandfather do all those things, I think that's the reason why I do so many things. Like it gave me permission to know that my talents are so much bigger than this one little piece. And it gave me permission to see how you could just do all these different things. And so we are more than just one trick ponies. And those are, I think, some of the things that we don't give ourselves permission to be. We kind of put ourselves like in a box. And watching my grandfather growing up, he didn't put himself in a box. He did everything he needed to do in order to make sure his family was good. I'm going to do the same to make sure that my son is good and my legacy is strong and firm. So that's one of the main reasons I wanted to do Daddies Know Best. When you are thinking about like the hardest parts of being an entrepreneur, like, has your dad given you any type of like suggestions or pushed you in any way when it comes to what you do, either nonverbal or verbal?
I would say this, that actually my father probably looks up to me in business because I am very much so a strategist, and he's more of a traditional small business owner, works for things. And what I was able to learn through osmosis or just seeing the experience is that even if you are a small business, that life is still temporary if you're not using your brain power or you're not using something digital. If you're still using your hands, that even that has a short-lived life if you are the main focus. So even without teaching me the lesson, I realized the lesson just by watching my parents in entrepreneurship. And I want to say it's more small business is what the category that we would put them in. And just seeing that and knowing like, oh, I need to make sure that I create generational things or things that will make money without me being there. And I think that's one of the lessons that he didn't realize that he taught me, but I've learned and I've used it in his business and in mine.
I love that because my dad was not an entrepreneur. Like he dropped out of school in the 11th grade, but was always there, like always there. Like even as an adult, grown, I got babies, honey. He was still always there. And so what I learned from him is how to be more connected, because he was very connected to people. Like you could count on him. He said what he was going to do. He did what he was going to say. He was a man of his word. He was very revered in our community, and everybody knew him. And I don't know anyone who didn't love him. Yeah. And so he just had this really big personality, and he loved to laugh.
One thing I could say is that my dad is from a real small town in North Carolina, Reedsville, North Carolina. That was his home, but he took his talent, his effort, his energy, and really took it to the next level when it came to his music. He had been on stages with so many people like Sting and the Police, Patti LaBelle, all kinds of folks. You know, he has stories about meeting Bette Midler, all kinds, just hanging out with folks. And that's what really has sparked it for me. Is definitely take your talent, your effort, your energy, your gifts, everything that you are, and walk it, run it, swim it, all the things till the wheels fall off. And so that tenacity of talent has really kept me going in these years.
I would say personality. So when you're building a personal brand, you have to be okay with being you. I remember one time my father wore like this royal blue suit. He wanted people to see him and know him. And now that I'm thinking about it, me and all this hot pink, I want people to see me. I want people to know who I am because of these bright colors. And I'm just thinking about the parallels of understanding that it's okay to work hard. The trait has definitely been passed down. Like you gotta do what you gotta do in order to accomplish your goals. Life might not be easy, but it will get better as you begin to accomplish your goals. And I think all of my siblings have gotten that trait of you got to work hard. Now, I want to modify it in this generation and say we want to work smarter, and we don't want to work hard forever. We want the labor we want the fruit and the seeds that we've sown to bear good fruit, and let this fruit continue to bless us and continue to work for us on our behalf. So although he bestowed on me working very hard and it has gotten me far, I want to modify and update what working hard looks like in this next iteration of my life, because I don't just want to work hard. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor as well. So that's one of the things that I will definitely say I've gotten from my father about working hard, laughing and enjoying life. I think he definitely laughs and enjoys life a lot. So these are some characteristics that I have definitely brought over into entrepreneurship.
To have two powerful Black men in your life to help grow and nurture you into the woman that you are, that's super powerful. And I think sometimes we don't realize that people are pouring into us and really planting seeds in us. And we're just so oblivious because we're on our own trajectory of growing up and getting our independence and in putting our own stamp out there in the world. When I asked you to be a part of Daddies Knows Best, what was the first thing that came to mind?
Oh, wow. It was a little challenging for me because, you know, when I read it, I was like, what? I was expecting you would want like some sweet, you know, loving, innocent story. And I didn't have that. Mine's is raw and rugged. You know, people will hear my story and be like, damn, your daddy did that to you? You his only child? And it's like, yes, that is my experience. But I was able to, and I had to sit and think and force myself to not look at the negative things and look at the positive things, because my dad is very key into my entrepreneurship journey. Like, for example, just to go back a little bit, it was my grandfather who started my entrepreneurial journey when I was about 11 years old, where I started selling candy in junior high because he was helping me, you know, make some little candy. So I was hustling candy in the 7th grade. But my father, he remembered that. And when I became a cheerleader, it costed $1,000, you know, for our uniforms. And he was like, I'm not finna just pay all that myself. What are you going to do? And he was like, you sold candy years ago. You can sell candy now. And whatever you don't come up with, I'll pay the balance. And I had like 6 weeks selling candy for 50 cents a bar. And I made several hundred and he paid the rest. But it just went from there.
Anything that you want the world to know about your father, let us hear it right now, sis.
And one, shout out to all the parents, the second parents, the third, the blended families, because I come from a very much so blended family. So I want to shout out all those types of dads. And then what you struck home is what you said, visibility. My father, probably without knowing it, has taught me that you must be visible in order to be in business, that people have to know who you are and know what you do and know what your particular niche is. He is a carpenter and a painter, and everybody knows that. And just knowing that, and he meets people and, you know, make sure that they know what he does. And when I think about the fact that I'm willing to promote myself and I'm willing to do that, I think it's because I subconsciously saw him do it. So just in general, know that you can learn things from your fathers without them actually verbally telling it to you, because they don't always know how to do that particular communication, but it's all sinking in. And just shout out to everybody from my husband to grandfathers, uncles, fathers, all over. Nothing but love, nothing but awesomeness.
My last piece of advice that my father gave me, well, he gives me advice all the time, but in regards to this, there was a time when I had decided that I wasn't going back to college and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And then I decided to go back, and my counselor told me, well, it's going to be 2 years before you graduate. Now, when I left college, I only had a quarter. That shows you how old I am, right? It was only a quarter left. And my counselor said it's going to be 2 years because they had changed the program before you can graduate. I was so upset. And I remember going home to my daddy and I was just like complaining and everything. And my dad was all like, GaVonne, 2 years is going to come and go regardless what you do with it. The question is, what are you going to do with those 2 years and where are you going to be at the end of those 2 years? And so when I thought about that, he was like, I'm like, you're right. You know, 2 years is going to come and go. So when I encounter people who have dreams, have goals, or have ambitions, and they keep saying, man, that's, you know, I just now at the time, and, you know, somewhere I'll do it later or something. Take advantage of the opportunity today. And I keep telling people, embrace that moment, because 2 years, or for you, 2 years is going to come and go. So when we started this pandemic, it was 2020. It's already 2022. What did you do? What those 2 years came and went. What did you do? And when I think about my business, I think about quit putting off for tomorrow and do now, because I want to be able to look back and say, this is where I am now. So yeah, that would be my last piece of advice that I would share that my father gave me.
Definitely the fact that you can be who you are, like literally be who you are. I've definitely tapped into that more. I've definitely tapped into, let me figure out who I am so that I could be her, right? And sometimes there are different circumstances that make you more of that person. You sharpen your skills, life happens, things happen that allow you to be more refined as who you are. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to leave here in this earth, this time we've had together. Just tap all the way into who you are. You don't have to be like anybody else. Rock your it factor.
So, you know, behind the scenes, we were talking about sometimes fathers are a very touchy subject, right? And I, you know, and I'm going to be in full transparency. My father and I, we've had challenges, but, and I've been working on repairing some of those pieces. And the thing is, he definitely was there for me when I grew up. He supported our family. We had a blended family, multicultural, and just working hard and making sure we always had a roof on our head. We had, you know, words of encouragement, being there when we needed him. I had my dollar to go to school every day. So as someone who's not a parent yet and looking back at my life and looking at my family, and family is a big piece of my life, I want to say, you know, sometimes our family members, our parents do the best that they can do with the tools that they've been equipped with, and understanding his life and how he grew up, and doing the best that he could with me. And in this season, giving grace as he's older and as I'm getting older and I want to be a parent. So looking at things a little bit differently and understanding he did what he could do with the tools that he had. And for anyone who's watching this, I know that the things that we're talking about can be touchy, whether you have a nostalgic feeling about it, or whether you're so detached because of just life. And I just want you to know, be encouraged and find those people in your life that can be those figures. And it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody biological to you. I've had great mentors and male figures. My grandfather was absolutely an amazing man of 11 children. So finding the things that you need, this is what I will say, give you the encouragement to find the things that you need in the spaces and places that you need to get them from, is what I would encourage anybody who's watching this. Stay encouraged, create beautiful and amazing memories, give people grace, and you can always start today.
Listen, it is important for us to celebrate our dads. They are Black men. Black men are strong, they're fearless, and sometimes they are unprotected. It is super important for us as daughters, as women, to be able to share the amazing gifts that we received from our dads, our stepdads, and the amazing, wonderful men that are in our worlds that have poured into us to help us to be the fearless and fabulous women that we are as entrepreneurs. It's your girl, Paula Marie, aka the EbonyBizDiva. Thank you so much for joining us on Daddies Know Best. And listen, remember to follow and like and subscribe on whatever platform you are watching this on right now, because your support is definitely needed in order for me to keep growing and giving you amazing content. All right, I'll see you later in these internet streets. Peace.